Welcome to Here Where You Belong, your go-to podcast for exploring belonging with your host and belonging expert, Dia Irby. We are thrilled to have you join us. Together, we'll dive into the depths of what it means for each of us to find our own place in the world, whether it's within our communities, our relationships, or within ourselves. Today's episode is meant to inspire, uplift, and remind you that no matter where you are or where you're headed, you have a place where you truly belong. So grab a cozy spot and settle in. Welcome to Here Where You Belong.
Hello, awesome belongers. Welcome home to Here Where We Belong. We're Here Where You Belong podcast. Today's guest is a distinguished Toastmaster and a local in-person friend of mine. I'm Dia, your host. Get ready to be inspired and blessed. Our guest today is Meri Lynch. Let's welcome Meri Lynch. Hey, Meri.
Hi, Dia. Thanks for having me on.
So glad to have you. Well, here's a bit more about my guest. Meri is a real estate agent in the Research Triangle area of North Carolina with a focus on a new business she's launching, being a home and estate transition coordinator. She prepares homes for sale by managing all the essential tasks involved in closing an estate, from property maintenance and cleaning to helping loved ones who need rehoming, as well as rehoming the pets. So glad to have you here, Meri. Any additions, subtractions, or corrections?
No, that's a little part of it. And yeah, there's a lot more to what I do. So
Okay, well, we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
The reason I have my guest here is to tell stories about their belonging experience, how you found it, how you provide it for other people. So the mic is yours. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Dia. Well, I grew up in a family of real estate agents.
Ooh.
My family owned, well, altogether 3 different offices. My father was a realtor, his brother was a realtor, my uncles were realtors, my cousins were realtors. I never wanted to have anything to do with it. As I got older, there was something inside of me just nagging that I was not going to be happy unless I tried real estate. It was something that was in me and I knew it. So when I was older, I started to get into real estate. As I was in real estate, I wanted to find that special place where I belonged. I didn't want to just do everything. I wanted to find a niche.
Mm-hmm.
When I was talking with my daughter, who is an estate attorney, we would talk about things that were going on, and she would tell me stories of people that had families that were either out of state or out of the country, and how difficult it was for her to try and handle all of these things. And she said one day, these people need someone to help them. And I said, I can do that.
Ding, 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 ding.
It was a light that went off in my head. I knew that I wanted to find that special place that was me.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have anyone to take an idea from. It was something that I was starting, pretty brand new. So I started looking into it, and the more I did, the more I was drawn into it, and the more I saw how people need someone to be there, because either they don't live in the area, a lot of times they have family members that live here and they live out of state, or their lives are just too busy,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't need the added stress.
Right. Well, they're also going through grief.
They are.
And you don't often have your best thinking cap on.
That's it. They are not thinking straight. And also, when people inherit an estate, a lot of times it may be a few people, and they may not always agree. So when they don't agree, what winds up happening is the process takes longer. They spend more money than they have to, and it's just because everybody has their own idea. So when I go in, I want to find out what the bottom line is for all of them. What do you want the end result to be? And then I can keep them along to get to where they want to get to. So when people get off track, I can talk to them and say, well, but this is where we want to be. And that, we need to fix your way of thinking, or we need to fix the end result, because the
Right,
way things are going, you're not going to get what you hope to get out of this.
right. Well, let's be realistic.
Exactly.
And it's well, first you have to identify how many. What if they're like um, four siblings, but each one is married? And
Yes,
in North Carolina, that's 8 people. You have to help them all feel like they belong to the process.
exactly. And they all have their own opinions,
Hmm.
and rightfully so.
Right, exactly. Oh, there's so much to it. You got to identify it, you got to come up with the game plan, and then you execute.
Yes. And being an outsider, I don't have the emotions that they have. So I can see the situation a little more clearly. And
Right.
so I can step in and try and just bring everyone together. So there's a lot of different areas that I work in here. It's dealing with the people, it's dealing with the property, it's dealing with pets that may be left.
Mm,
And if family members don't want that pet, something that I have learned recently is people should put in their will, if they have a pet, figure out how old the pet is, how long they will live, and then set money aside to have that pet taken care of. If a pet comes with money to take care of, it's much easier to
much
find a
better.
home.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what if nobody, everybody's allergic to to cats and they left 2 cats that they totally loved? Then what do you do with them? Oh, you'd want to honor the
Yes,
person that passed, but what do you do with them? So you're providing a, a, a safe, comfortable environment for all parties involved, and that takes a lot of um, focus and intention, I would think. Now, do
yes.
you feel like you belong in your family now that you are in real estate? Did you feel like you didn't belong because you resisted the call so long?
I felt it was something that I just had a heart for, but I didn't want to admit it.
Okay, okay. You were trying to be your own self.
Yes.
And what you didn't realize was your own self was to also be a real estate agent.
Who knew?
How about that? And it wasn't in North Carolina, was it? Was it in North Carolina?
I became a real estate agent in North Carolina, but I am from New York, and that's where my family were.
Was they were. Yes, I could hear a touch of accent that was not native North Carolina, so I suspected New York, possibly. Well,
Yeah.
let's touch a quick minute on Toastmasters, and I mentioned that you're a DTM,
Yes.
Distinguished Toastmaster. What in the world does that mean?
Distinguished Toastmaster is the highest award you can get in Toastmasters. It takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication, but the process helps you grow as a person. It helps me grow. And I've seen it in other people who decided to do it. I see the growth in them. And that's something that I love about Toastmasters also. I see people when they first come in, and then I see them grow.
How long have you been in Toastmasters?
It's going to be 10 years.
And Toastmasters is 100 years old.
Yes,
What? Is it
101.
101? Yes. What exactly for someone that I've never even heard of what Toastmasters is? How would you describe it to someone that has no clue what Toastmasters is?
To me, Toastmasters is the best self-improvement and business education that you can get.
Wow, that's pretty big endorsement.
It really is. I have learned through moving up in Toastmasters, there's you learn leadership skills.
Well, don't you have to hold offices of leadership to earn the DTM?
Yes, you have to be a club officer. So each club has officers in there. You also have to be a district officer, and there are different roles that you can take on in the district to move up. You have to do a project, a large project. It's called the DTM project. And the project is something that has to help an organization or a group of people. So it has to follow the Toastmasters values. So you're giving value to a group of people. And then you talk about your project, and you have people who are there to guide you, have a guidance committee, and also you're accountable to finish your project.
Well, I can see how the discipline of the program, and they've honed it pretty well, working on it for 100 years to make sure that people will benefit from it. It's more than some people think it's just learning to do public speaking, but
Yeah.
it is so much more. Working together, providing a safe place for people to belong
Yes.
as they develop their leadership skills and their speaking skills. That is part of it, but it's only part of it.
Right.
That is very helpful. And anybody can find a Toastmasters chapter pretty much anywhere. And if it's not close, you can always join online. Now that the pandemic came in,
Right.
we were consumed with meetings. We learned how to do online and hybrid meetings as well. Well, that's awesome. Toastmasters.org, Toastmasters International, or just Toastmasters.org?
Toastmasters.org.
Yeah, to find out more. And congratulations on making the DTM and putting in all that effort. And now you belong to a distinguished group of
I
accomplished.
do.
Yes, yes, you do. Well, this is fabulous. We're going to take a break right now and be back in just a minute with my fabulous guest, Meri Lynch. Hey there! Isn't my guest amazing? So glad you joined us today. In this world that often feels disconnected, building community and fostering belonging are essential. That's why I created this podcast, to bring inspiring people to you, to encourage you to create that sense of belonging and community, no matter where you are. If you're being blessed by my guest, and we have some more, like, subscribe, and share this podcast. You know who needs to hear this. Stay connected, stay true to yourself, and always remember, you belong. Now, back to our amazing guest. And we are back with Meri Lynch, my guest today. She is multi-talented and finding belonging everywhere. And if you've seen my episodes, you know that I ask my favorite 3 questions on the second half of the podcast. The first one is, what do you consider is your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment is starting something brand new from the beginning at an older age. I want people to realize they have a lot in them, and you can start it at any age. If it's in your heart, do it.
Well, a lot of people talk about retirement, but why do you need to retire? You might change what you're doing,
Exactly.
stop doing one occupation, but you spent all those years learning about life and gathering experience and training, being in training, learning leadership and
Yeah.
public speaking. Why quit now? You're just going. Think of all the people that did start when they should have retired, like Colonel Sanders,
Exactly.
Kentucky Fried. He didn't get going until then. And all of a sudden, I'm forgetting. Can you think of other people that started at retirement age?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm very familiar with Colonel Sanders.
Yes, yes. There are very common names that you would recognize if I could remember them.
Yeah.
So, what all did you have to do to get the business started? I mean, did you have to do a business plan? Did you talk? Well, you had your daughter to help you with legal stuff.
Yes. But I also, and I will plug it because it is great, I went to something it's called Launch. And it's, yes, I went through Launch Holly Springs, and it is free if you get in, and it helps you start your business from scratch.
Who sponsors that?
There are, for me, my Rotary Club sponsored
Okay.
it. So I don't know if the Rotaries in the other areas are the ones who sponsor it, but they do have Launch all over. And if you're going in, you're starting a new business, there are business professionals who come in and they teach you about the different areas and what you need to do.
It sounds like SCORE,
Similar,
that you have mentors, people that have been there, done that,
yeah,
and you get paired up and they know how to help you do all the things you need to do, like
yeah,
set your goals and figure out what your standard operating procedures are, or create your playbook for your business, how to go
right.
about doing everything. Well, that's great that you had that. How long ago did you venture out in this new endeavor?
I officially started in May. That's when I graduated my launch.
Well, that's just freshly hatched.
Yes,
How
yes.
long did it, what was the process from, hey, I have this ding, ding, ding idea that these people need help and I could be the person? When did that first thought come to graduating from launch?
I started, this is 2025. So 2024, I had got the idea. And then within a couple of months, I heard about Launch. And you get interviewed and they only take a certain amount of people. And I was determined to get in. And I did, and I was so
Yay.
happy. So it just came, once I was sure this is what I want to do, everything else started to come into fruition for me.
Well, you can't, until you decide where you may say, ooh, I want to go on a trip. But until you decide where you're going, are you going to the North Pole or Miami? You're not going to know what to pack or what road to take.
Right,
And when you decide that, then you can clearly see what's necessary and not be distracted by all the parts that you don't, I mean, you don't need to know what's going on in Arizona.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can focus.
Yes.
And you were lit by a passion to go after this. You saw a need
Mhm.
and a business that's going to make it, any business, any sales, if you can solve a problem for someone, you will
Right,
be successful. And you are definitely stepping in to bring solutions to people at one of their most vulnerable times.
right.
Way to go, Mary. Good job.
Thank you.
Hey, the second question I like to ask everyone is what makes you feel like you belong? I belong with these people or I belong here.
Once I started doing this and I started meeting people who are dealing with the elderly or the children of elderly parents, they're in different functions. I realized this is my group. These are the people that are not afraid to talk about death and what happens, because that's something that we're not going to avoid it.
None of us get out alive, right?
None of us are leaving here alive. So it's people who are working with elderly people, which takes a special group of people. And I enjoy being around them, and we feed off each other. I am in a mastermind group with women who are dealing with all different aspects of the elderly. And we just come up with how can we better what we do.
And how did you find that group?
I started it.
See? You created a place to belong,
Yeah,
and you have invited other people in, and that's fabulous, because there, for every one of us that wants to feel like we belong, there are other people that also need to feel like they belong. So
right.
you did an amazing, great, commendable action of starting a mastermind,
Yeah,
and that will just grow and multiply the success.
right. Because we all put our heads together and talk about things that come up. And it's like, okay, instead of just sitting there by yourself saying, how can I fix this? We all sit down and we're all focused on helping whatever the issue the other person has.
If someone was interested in joining that group, is it a closed group? Have you decided we've got our few and no more? Or could someone consider joining?
As long as they don't do what one of us does, we can't have two of the same,
Okay, so it's like a BNI, a
but
business
it's much
network.
smaller.
Right, but a business network usually can only have one representative from each occupation.
Right,
And there are like nurses or healthcare, home care people are not doing the same thing you are, but they're dealing with the same people,
right.
right? Or an auctioneer, an antique person,
Hmm.
retail, estate sale person that handles the sale part of it.
Yes,
They're going to deal with the same people.
but at different
They're
aspects.
all in adjacent occupations.
Yes,
So if you are already someone interested in this, but you're already doing what Meri's doing, follow her example and start your own group to encourage people.
absolutely. It's such a good way of people who are their own entrepreneurs because we have similar mindsets and we also have similar issues.
Right, right. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I am glad that you have found your purpose in life and found your group where you belong.
Yeah.
Third question that I like to ask: what is your favorite quote?
Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Oh, and why? What about that? It makes it your favorite, or what do you like about that?
Because everyone is going to experience tough times. And when you're in them, you get so consumed by it, but you don't realize it doesn't last. It's just a phase. And when you have the mindset to know, okay, this is just a phase and it will end at some point, that helps you get through whatever you're going through.
Absolutely, absolutely. So be tough.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah.
You are going to make it. And if you have that mindset, I'm sure that you help transfer that mindset to your clients that you're working with, because
Yeah.
it is a tough time.
Yes.
Uh, Decluttering the parents' house with all the memories that are there and their um, collections that they have. What do you do with them? And do you divide them up, or do you sell them as a whole set, or all the things? It's tough.
It's tough to make decisions and one family member might say, we can't sell that. That was mom's. And the other one says, but I never liked it.
Exactly. So they're going through tough times and it's tough on you to manage,
Yeah.
but you're gonna last because tough people do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we close, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
I just want people to know that they are not alone when something happens. And sometimes they feel like they're alone and they're overwhelmed, that there are so many different um, businesses that can help them, that, they may not realize there are people who want to help you when you're going through tough times. There are people out there, and just, look for it, because you don't have to just deal with everything and get overwhelmed and have your life turned upside down. It's turned upside down enough when you lose someone. But
Right.
yeah, but there are people
Absolutely.
who can help you and can bring some order to the chaos that's going on.
And how would someone find you if unfortunately they needed you?
I am trying to, when I am with other people who deal with elderly, either the elderly or the children of them, the caretakers, I want people to know about me before it happens.
So yes, and they would find you at merylynch.com or what? Do you have a business name?
It's ncestateservices.com.
Oh, that's good. NC
The
Estate
estate
Services com. Got that? ncestateservices.com. Go
or
ahead, get connected. It may be 3 years, 5 years, but you'll have the information and be a good scout. Be prepared, right?
or they can email me at Meri, Meri, at ncestateservices.com.
Well, that works too.
Yeah.
Meri, Meri, at ncestateservices.com. Perfect. Meri, to our amazing guest, thank you. And to our listeners, belongers, stay connected, stay true to yourself, and always remember you belong. This is Dia Irby with Here Where You Belong podcast, signing off. Bye now.
Thanks for tuning in to Hear Where You Belong. We hope today's episode has inspired you to embrace the beauty of belonging in your own life. Remember, no matter where you are or where you're headed, you have a place where you truly belong. Join us again next time for more insightful conversations and heartwarming stories. Until then, stay connected, stay true to yourself, and always remember that you belong.